Natural hair tips that changed my life. First things first, when we wear synthetic weave, if our hair is already dry, it is a disaster because that synthetic hair with all these with the plastic and chemicals is rubbing against our hair fiber and could actually cause more splitting and more damage. So be mindful of that when you wear synthetic hair. It is really dangerous if your hair is already dry, meaning you don't incorporate enough moisture products into your regimen, hydration products into your regimen. And it's even more dangerous if all you do is wear synthetic hair. So for example, if you get knotless braids, box braids, cornrows with synthetic kinky line hair back to back to back, and you're wondering like, hey, why isn't my hair growing? Or you're wondering like, I don't even do nothing to my hair. Why is my hair so dry? I don't put heat in my hair. Why do I have all these split, cackling, crackly ends? So that is something to know about synthetic hair. The next thing I want to talk about is a natural hair tip that changed my life. I learned this from Audrey Davis Sivasati, using seamless comb. So you see how in between this comb, there's no seams. So seams are basically, you see those lines in between the comb right there? Look really close. You see that line in between the comb? Look at this comb. This is a seamless comb. It doesn't have any lines in between it. Those are the combs you want to buy for your natural hair, because Audrey Davis said in her book, The Science of Black Hair, that using a comb with seams is like putting your hair through a paper shredder. Now, I do notice, now me personally, I don't use any combs or brushes while my hair is wet. So I typically like to use it when my hair is dry. And I really do notice a difference when my hair is dry, like opposed to using a seam comb with seams versus using this. It kind of just glides through easily, but when my hair wet, I can't use nothing. So I'm just putting that out there. But another thing I want to tell you guys too is, before this one, I had a wooden one. I still have the wooden one, but I would not recommend that because you know how wood chips. Even though that didn't happen, I remember when I tried to wash the comb, like, clean the comb and brought it in the shower. It was just a disaster. I had to order a whole nother comb. So yeah, be mindful of that. If you on the market shopping for a seamless comb and you're thinking about getting a wood one, I recommend getting one like this. Now, they are expensive. I think I paid like $25 or I don't know, ranging between 15 to 25 to 30. The next thing I want to talk about is always use hair ties like this, silk hair ties for your natural hair. Or if you use a regular hair tie, right, put some oil over it. You could use castor oil, you could use argan oil, you could use whatever. Put it around the hair tie so that way it's not rubbing against your hair, causing dryness and stressing your hair out. Okay. So now another thing, let's talk about the CCC method. Audrey Davis talks about this in her book. All these tips are from Audrey Davis Sivasati. So what you want to do is, you ever notice how sometimes when you like fill on your hair, the top at the roots is rough? Like I remember I was filling through my hair. I'm like, why are my roots so hard? And then when I was reading her book, she talked about how when we condition, sometimes we pay so much attention to this, we don't get up in these roots. So the CCC method is about applying the conditioner like a relaxer to the roots, of course, throughout the whole head, but making sure when you have your hair in sections that you're like parting in between, applying conditioner at the roots, coming down. Parting in between, applying conditioner at the roots and coming down. You could use a little rat tail comb, the end of the rat tail comb, not like this, but the rat tail comb. Use the end of the rat tail comb, this section, or you could use your fingers. But just make sure you're getting in them roots. You don't have to do this every time because it is time consuming. But this is something I like to keep mindful of in my hair care regimen, making sure that you are paying attention to those roots, because there's so much talk about paying attention to them ends. But sometimes you forget about them roots, especially right here, y'all. Like my roots would be so freaking hard. I'd be like, yo, what is going on? And that's usually because I'm not paying attention to and moisturizing. Another thing I want to talk about is don't wash your hair in hot water. What hot water does is it makes the cuticles lift excessively, which can open your hair up to split ends, cracking, and cackling. Always wash your hair in warm water, okay? So for me, when I get in the shower, one thing I like to be very mindful of when I get in the shower is because, my body can take a lot. I'll be showering in water looking like I'm in I'm in hot lava, okay? But with my hair, I cannot do that. So I know if it's not pleasing to my body, I know it's perfect for my hair. If I be pissed off because it's not hot enough for my body, I know that's the temperature that I need to use for my hair. If I'm satisfied with my body, I know it's way too hot, because I could, us girls, we could take hot water like freaking devils, okay? So be mindful of that when you wash your hair. You guys ever thought about the science of hair tangling, or ever was curious about why your hair tangles, what's going on a microscopic level? So let's talk about it. Basically, with black hair, where our hair coils or bends, the cuticles are slightly lifted. This means that the cuticles are not hugged tightly against the cortex. They're not hugging the cortex tightly. So with this happening, it basically increases the friction of the hair fiber. When the cuticles is lifted, it increases hair friction. That's how tangling is caused. Did y'all know that it's not good to trim your hair like clockwork? So every 3 to 4 months or every 6 months or something like that consistently. See, our trimming rate is personal. Same with even when we apply certain products. You don't want to apply protein products every 3 months for the rest of your life, or moisture products every 3 months for the rest of your life. You have to listen to your hair. So let's go back to the trimming. If our hair, the hair that is trimmed, surpasses the hair growth rate, we will not see length retention. The idea is to allow your hair to grow enough so the hair that is trimmed does not surpass the hair growth rate. Keep this in mind. Make sure that you are not iron or vitamin D deficient. I was iron and vitamin D deficient. These things can cause hair loss. So if you're trying to grow your natural hair out, or you're wondering why it's breaking so much, or you're wondering why it's not retaining any length, and you're not taking your iron or vitamin D serious, please do. Typically, black hair breakage stems from the overutilization of protein-rich products. When we used to relax our hair, relaxers are slowly coming to a halt. A lot of people were putting the relaxers down, but I still know people personally who use them. But when you have chemically processed your hair, in order to get your hair to bounce back and be healthy, you need those proteins treatment. So that's why a lot of black hair care products were so protein rich. But what can happen over time, especially when you start transitioning to being natural, or just in general, because your hair needs moisture, we tend to neglect that. And that's why a lot of black hair, a lot of breakage in the black hair communities just stems from the hair not being properly moisturized. So be very mindful of that. Make sure you are using moisture and protein products, and you understanding which one your hair needs. Do not use them on a schedule unless you are starting and your hair routine is a little bit ambiguous and you're kind of getting started. But really listen to your hair. Like, for example, I do not need protein that much. I use protein treatment so much. I was using the Afro-G. I was having shampoo and conditioner that has biotin and collagen. The Afro-G is really strong, but biotin and collagen are also very strong because they have small molecules that bind to the hair fiber. And if you don't need protein, that is a disaster. Proteins that aren't really that strong are, you typically have large molecules, so they're not penetrating into the hair fiber. So just be mindful of that. And protein also is prevalent in leave-in conditioners, gels. Look on the back of your leave-in conditioners. Look on the back of your gels. Look on the back of certain products that you have. And if you see a protein, a lot of people might say, oh, well, I'm not using these strong protein treatments, so how can I be moisture deficient, or how can I have breakage from protein? But if look on the back of your gels, look on the back of your leave-in conditioners, look on the back of your hair products in general, you will probably see some protein treatments out there in those products that are actually contributing to that protein overload. Tips for my naturalistas. Let's say after you wash, condition, shampoo, wash, condition, whatever, your hair deep condition, and then you style it, the next day it comes out looking a mess, or it doesn't last the full week. Hair goes through a lot of trauma when we wash it because it's stretching out, it's elongating, and then it's contracting. So that is why sometimes you might notice this on a science level, but then it could just also be your hair. Like, my hair really don't be rocking with that styling post-wash. This is what I learned. It took me 5 or 6 years to learn this. My hair has to be stretched out post-wash before styling. So even before I do these mini twists, before I wear a puff, before I do anything, after I deep condition, what's very important for me is to stretch my hair so that I could look like braiding it post-wash, twisting it post-wash, using the what's that? Them string, but you thread, do using that to twist it around and stretch it, then style it after. Because I just recently just redid my mini twist, and y'all, I tried to wash my mini twist. Oh my God. And the twist came out a mess because I didn't stretch out my hair post wash. And then look how it looks when it's stretched, and then look how it looks when it's not stretched. Importance of learning about the science of black hair, the science of your hair, is so you cannot get tricked anymore. You can no longer be tricked and fall into false product claims. Audrey Davis-Sivasati talked about this. She was basically saying before she just wanted to know about the product. She just wanted to know about the miracle product that will possibly change her life. But when she started to really set an intention to learn her hair, that's when she became smarter and more educated. So I encourage you guys to do this as well. This is why we jump to just buying these products that claim that it'll help us with this or help us with that, or we fall into these traps of clicking on videos which say use this and watch your hair grow in 24 hours because we believe that a miracle product will come. But no, real hair growth and real length retention comes from us learning our hair. I encourage you to really learn your natural hair, and I'm going to help you with that. So just keep watching my videos too, because I'm going to be helping you guys along the way.